Today is our Math 7 Week 5. Are you ready? Prepare your module Week 5. Our lesson is all about addition and subtraction of fractions. Target: at the end of the lesson, you are expected to: first one, perform an addition and subtraction of fractions. Second one, apply the concepts and knowledge on addition and subtraction of fractions in solving real-life situations. But before we have our lesson, let's have the recall. What I know. Directions: change the fraction into its equivalent decimal number. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. 3/5 or 3 over 5. What is the decimal form of 3 over 5? Is it A, 0.3, B, 0.6, or C, 0.9? If your answer is 0.6, that is correct. Next, 3/4. What is the decimal form of 3/4? 0.65, 0.75, or 0.25? If your answer is 0.75, that is correct, because 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. 2 over 5. What is the decimal form of 2 over 5? Is it A, 0.4, B, 0.5, or C, 0.6? If your answer is 0.4, very good, that is correct. Number 4, 3 over 10. Is it 0.2? Is it 0.3? Or is it 0.5? The answer is 0.3 because 3 divided by 10 is 0.3. 4 over 8 or 4 divided by 8. Is it A, 0.2, B, 0.4, or C, 0.5? If your answer is 0.5 for letter C, that is correct. Let's continue. What's in? Write the fraction that describes each pizza. We have here 6 pizzas. Let's have first the left top portion. As you can see, the pizza is divided into 5 portions, but there are 3 left more. Therefore, our fraction form of the left part is 3 over 5. How about the pizza on the bottom? We have there 10 portions of the pizza, but there are 9 portions left. Therefore, our fraction form is 9 over 10. How about on the top portion? The pizza is divided into 2, but there is only 1 left. Therefore, it is a half of the pizza, or in fraction form, it is 1/2. How about on the left part? We have there a pizza divided into 4 parts, but there are 3 left parts. Therefore, our fraction form of the left parts is 3/4. How about on the other side? We have there 3 portions of the pizza, but there are only 2 parts left. Therefore, the answer is 2 over 3. The last one, the pizza is divided into 5 parts. Same with the first one. But there are 4 left parts. Therefore, The answer is 4 over 5. So what is on today's topic? We have the addition and subtraction of fractions. Remember, in adding and subtracting fractions, we have to consider if they are similar fractions, dissimilar fractions, or mixed number. We can say that they are similar fractions if the fractions have the same denominators. For example, we have here 3 over 5, 4 over 5, and 11 over 5. The fractions have the same denominators, which is 5. In adding and subtracting similar fractions, if a, b, and c are integers, and b is not equal to 0, then a over b plus c over b equals a plus c over b. Or, in subtraction, a over b minus c over b equals a minus c over b. So as you can see, the numerators are being added or being subtracted, then copy the denominator. Step in adding and subtracting similar fractions. Just add or subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. Note: express all your answers in its simplest form or in lowest term. Example number 1, 3/5 plus 4/5. To add similar fractions, add the numerator 3 and 4, which is 7, then copy the denominator, which is 5. Or in its simplest form, we have 1 and 2/5. 7 over 5 is an example of improper fraction. Improper fractions must have larger numerator than the denominator. So express it into mixed number in order to be in its simplest form. To express improper fraction into mixed number, just divide the numerator into its denominator. 7 divided by 5, you will have 1. That will be the whole number. Then, the remainder will be 2, which is the numerator. And then, copy the original denominator. Example number 2. 9 over 10 subtracted by 7 over 10. They are similar fractions. Therefore, you will just subtract the numerator 9 and 7. It will become 2. Then copy the denominator, which is 10. So the answer is 2 over 10 or 1/5 or 1 over 5. 2 over 10 has the greatest common factor, which is 2. Therefore, the answer is 1/5, which is the lowest term. Next is dissimilar fractions. Fractions will be considered dissimilar if they are having different denominators. Example, we have 5 over 3, 1/2, 11 over 6, and 9 over 10. The denominators are different. Therefore, they are considered dissimilar fractions. Steps in adding and subtracting dissimilar fractions. The first one is to find the LCD, or the least common denominator. Second one, the LCD will be the new denominator. To obtain a new numerator, divide the LCD by the given denominator, then multiply the quotient to the given numerator. You now have similar fractions. And then follow the steps in adding similar fractions. Example number 3. We add 5 over 3 and 1 over 6. To add them, get the LCD or even the least common multiple of the two denominators. The multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. For number 6, we have 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on. They have the same least common denominator, which is 6. Therefore, we'll be using 6. Then, divide it by both of the denominators. 6 divided by the first denominator, which is 3, is equal to 2. Multiply it to the numerator, which is 5. How about on the other side? 6 divided by 6 is 1. Multiply it by the numerator, which is 1. Then, perform. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. Then copy the denominator. So we have here similar fractions already. To add similar fractions, you will just add the numerator, 10 and 1. We have 11. Then copy the denominator. We already have the answer 11 over 6. But because 11 over 6 is an improper fraction, we will express it as mixed number. Divide 11 over 6. We'll have 1 as whole number, 5 as the remainder, which we'll be using as numerator, and then copy the denominator. So the answer is 1 and 5 over 6. Another example. We subtract 2 over 8 by 3/4. Let's have the LCD of 8 and 4. 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. How about the multiples of 4? We have 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. So they have the same denominator, which is the least, as 8. Therefore, we'll be using 8 as denominator. Divide it by both of them. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Multiply it to the numerator, which is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Multiply it by the numerator, which is 3. Then perform. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So we already have similar fractions. To subtract similar fractions, you will just subtract the numerators, then copy the denominator. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Copy the denominator, which is 8. So we have here negative 4 over 8. Or, in simplest form, we have negative 1/2. Next is mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are quantities which have a whole number part and a fraction part. Examples, we have 4 and 1/2, 5 and 5 over 6, and 2, 7 over 10. All of them have whole numbers and also fraction part. Steps in adding and subtracting mixed numbers. First one, make the fraction parts of the mixed number into similar fractions. Next, add or subtract the whole numbers and the similar fractions. And the last one, simplify if the resulting fraction is improper fraction. Example number 5. We have 6 and 1/4 minus 3 and 2 over 12. First is subtract the whole numbers. Then the fractions. 1/4 and 2 over 12 are dissimilar fractions. Make them similar. Get the LCD of 4 and 12 or the LCM, least common multiple. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. The multiples of 12 is 12, 24, 36, 48, and so on. The least common multiple of the both numbers is 12. Therefore, we'll be using 12 as the new denominator. Then, divide it on both denominators. 12 divided by 4 is 3. multiply it to the numerator 1, we'll have 3 times 1. On the other side, 12 divided by 12 is 1, sorry. Multiply it by 2, we have 1 times 2. Let's answer 6 minus 3. As the whole numbers, we have 3. Next, for fractions, 3 times 1 over 12 is 3 over 12. 1 times 2 over 12 is 2 over 12. Then, let's proceed to the subtraction of similar fractions. We have 3 over 12 minus 2 over 12. Let's copy. 3 minus 2 is 1. Therefore, we'll be using 1 over 12. The answer is 3 and 1 over 12. Example number 6. We have 7 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/3. Let's add 7 and 1 as the whole numbers and then the fractions. Because they are dissimilar fractions or having different denominators, let's combine and get the LCD. 2 and 3. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, and so on. How about 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. So, the least common denominator or the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. Then, divide it on both denominators. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Multiply it to the numerator 1, we'll have 3 times 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Multiply it to the numerator 1, we'll have 2 times 1. Then, add the whole numbers. 7 plus 1 is 8. Perform the operations on the fractions. We have 3 times 1, 3 over 6. On the other side, 2 times 1, 2 over 6. Next, we'll be adding the similar fractions. To add similar fractions, 3 plus 2 is 5. Then copy the denominator and also the whole number. Therefore, our answer is 8 and 5 over 6. Let's level up. Let's have this problem. Tatay cleaned the room and swept the yard before leaving the house. It took him 1/4 hour to clean his room and 2/4 hour to sweep the yard. How many hours did he work before he left for the automotive shop? The given, we have 1/4 hour to clean his room and 2/4 hour to sweep the yard. So what is asked? How many hours did Tatay work before he left the automotive shop? So we are asking for the total hours he worked. So we'll just add the numbers. 1/4 plus 2/4 is equal to, because they are similar fractions, we'll be adding the numerators 1 and 2, which is 3, then copy the denominator. So, the answer is 3/4 hours he worked before he left for the automotive shop. Let us summarize the addition and subtraction of fractions. The first one is similar fractions. Similar fractions are having the same denominator. So we'll just add the numerator or subtract the numerators, then copy the denominator. Next is dissimilar fractions. Dissimilar fractions are having different denominators. Get the LCD of both denominators, divide it by every denominator of the original fraction, multiply it to the numerator, then proceed to the process of similar fractions. How about mixed number? To add or subtract mixed number, you will just add or subtract the whole numbers and also the fractions. Make them as similar fractions by getting the LCD if they have these different denominators. Then, always remember to get the lowest term of the fractions. Thank you.